about the origin. I drew the 45-degree line. It wasn't that well drawn, but I saw that I used the mirror to figure out where these points were, but I also saw that in order to get to this perpendicularly, it was two diagonals to get to this line, so two diagonals there. And that's why I was saying that we can snap these to the grid as opposed to having them just out there. So I went through this guy first, and now I'm going to reflect through this guy. So if I'm one, I need a different color now. Now, if I'm one to the right of this line right here, I want to go one to the left, so I'm going to get this point here. That's going to be one of my final points. If I'm one to the left, I want to go one to the right here. And if I'm three away from this line, I want to go three over here. Which is going to give me this. Now my big question is this actually a 90-degree rotation? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the line formed from the origin through the point that makes the biggest angle here, and then I'm going to find the line that goes through here. Would you agree that these are the two same points? Alright, now, this is the angle that I'm looking at, right here. Here and here. If that's 90 degrees, then we're in business. Now, first off, just doing an eyeball test, is that 90 degrees? It really looks like it, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to use a very technical, expensive 90-degree tool. The corners are 90 degrees on this, aren't they? If I do that, does that fit that angle perfectly? Yeah. Does that tell me it's 90 degrees? So I got my 90-degree rotation. No. Just the 90 degrees. So this type of one where we have to draw, and this one was clockwise. I went clockwise, I drew it down there. If you wanted to go counterclockwise, you would draw this line, reflect it through that guy, then reflect it through that guy, and be done with it. Because then you would go in the opposite direction. So it doesn't matter if it says go clockwise, we're going in the direction of an analog clock, which we don't even have in here anymore. But just remember what Mickey Mouse watches would do. They would go this way. So if I'm going clockwise, I'm going this way. And then I go to basically what I do is I go to the next quadrant that has a lot of space in it. I didn't want to use the first quadrant because that's not going to help me any. You could have actually used this. You could have went through this one first, and then you could have reflected through this one, and you would have ended up right down here, believe it or not. That's a weird one. That's a 1, that's a 1. So that would be this point, but that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It gets you right back down to that same point. So you could have actually gone through this line first, but since we're going in this direction, your last reflection should be in the direction that you want to end up going in. So since I wanted to go clockwise, this is my last reflection right here. I went through this, and that's 45 degrees, so I could go through this one first, but this one last. You're still going through, and remember, a rotation of 90 degrees is a double reflection of 45 degrees between the two lines. All right, two lines, 45 degrees. I just used the one in the first quadrant. I went through one line, and then I went through the line that was in the direction. Hey! Shh! I went through the line. The last reflection was the line that I wanted to go through in the direction that I wanted to end up in. So if you remember that, and that's just logic right there. If you're going counterclockwise, or if you're going clockwise, your last reflection should be going in the clockwise direction. Your first one doesn't have to be. I just did this one where everything is clockwise from it because it would end up being nice and easy for us. This one, you could have went up one and then reflected it down. You would have got the exact same rotation in the exact same direction. So there's options for you to do that. You get to pick which ones you want. So I'll be honest, 2 of the 12 questions are 90-degree rotations. One is where it doesn't tell you which way you want to go, so you can just go 90 degrees in whatever direction you want to. The other one is 90 degrees in a certain direction. So you got to be careful with that. But also, I'll post a video in just a second of doing this without the double reflection, with just doing the circles. And I'll show you how to do the circle part of it. So, good luck, good studying. I'll remind 101 it out. It'll be all good for everybody. Have a great day. Go shovel my driveway. Bye. You too.